Ida for wanting to break up with my girlfriend. Beginning, I realized something was deeply wrong the night my girlfriend, Leah, asked me a question no normal person should ever ask. If I disappeared, would you replace me? She asked it calmly, almost conversationally, while tracing circles on my arm. We were lying in her room, dim lights, soft music, her head on my shoulder. It should have been peaceful, but her voice had that quiet, sharp tone she used right before things spiral. I laughed at first, thinking she was joking, but she didn't laugh back. Instead, she lifted her head and looked straight into my eyes. Her pupils were huge. Her breathing was slow. Her hands were cold. "I'm serious," she whispered. I swallowed. What do you mean, disappear? Like if I died, she said plainly, or ran away, or something happened to me. Would you move on? A cold rush hit me. This was new even for her. Leah, why would you say something like that? She shrugged, but her eyes were glued to me and blinking. Because lately it feels like you're not here, like you're slipping through my fingers. Her fingers dug into my arm, not hard enough to hurt, but tight enough that I felt trapped. Then came the sentence that cracked something inside me. If you ever leave me, I won't survive it. And suddenly I understood something I should have realized months ago. I wasn't in a relationship anymore. I was in a hostage situation made of emotions, guilt, and fear. Long, detailed progression of the relationship. Leah wasn't always like this. When we first got together, she was fun, fiery, spontaneous. She'd drag me out at midnight to get ice cream, send me long messages about dumb things that made her laugh, show up with flowers just because. I fell hard, but slowly, piece by piece, she shifted. At first it was small things. If I didn't text her back within 10 minutes, she'd ask, "Are you mad at me? Did I do something wrong? Are you losing interest?" I thought it was just anxiety. I reassured her, all good. Then she started checking my location constantly. Not in a cute couple safety way, but in a "you said you were at home, why are you 2 streets away" kind of way. If I hung out with my friends, she'd call twice an hour just to hear my voice. If I didn't pick up, she'd send paragraphs. If I tried to set boundaries, she cried. Big, dramatic, choking sobs that made my chest clench with guilt. She told me she had no one else, no real friends, a bad relationship with her family, that I was the only safe person she had. And when someone tells you that, you don't want to let them down. You don't want to hurt them. You don't want to be the villain in their life story. But over time, the relationship stopped feeling like 2 people loving each other and started feeling like walking through a house full of pressure sensors. One wrong step and she'd break down. I had to phrase every sentence gently. I had to answer every message instantly. I had to be emotionally available 24/7. And if I wasn't, Leah made sure I felt it. Sometimes she'd go silent for hours, then send cryptic messages like, "You don't care. I knew it. I'm alone again." Other times she'd get angry, really angry, accusing me of not loving her enough, of planning to leave, of cheating even though I never even looked at someone else. I became careful, quiet, smaller. My friends noticed. My family noticed. But every time I thought about breaking up, I pictured Lee's face, streaked, devastated, whispering that no one else wanted her, that she wasn't strong enough to live without me. How do you leave someone who says that? How do you walk away without feeling like a monster? I told myself I'd stay until she got better, until she felt more secure, until things calmed down. They didn't. They only escalated. Ending the breaking point came last week. I told Leah I needed one night to study, just one. A single evening to prepare for an exam that could literally determine my future. She said she understood. She even kissed me good luck. For a moment, I thought things were improving. But at 10 p.m., my phone started buzzing. Once, twice, then continuously call after call after call. I silenced it. Maybe she was anxious. Maybe she just wanted to hear my voice. I didn't want to snap at her, so I decided I'd call back after finishing the chapter. 5 minutes later, there was a knock on my window. My second-story window. I nearly jumped out of my skin. When I opened the curtain, Leah was standing on the narrow roof ledge outside my room. Hair messy, eyes red, hands shaking. "Why aren't you answering?" she said, voice trembling. Leah, how did you? What are you doing? You could have fallen. She stepped inside and collapsed into my arms, sobbing uncontrollably. I thought you were avoiding me, she cried. I thought you were done with me. I thought you were leaving. Something inside me snapped, not in anger and realization. I couldn't fix this. I couldn't heal her wounds. I couldn't be her therapist, her emotional anchor, her only lifeline. I couldn't build my entire life around someone else's fear of abandonment. I was drowning, and she couldn't even see it. So the next morning, I told her we needed to talk. Her entire body went rigid, and before I even said the words, she whispered, "Please don't leave me." Her voice was small, terrified, childlike, but for the first time, I saw the truth clearly. If I stayed, I'd be enabling her. If I left, maybe she'd finally get the help she needed. So I said it, softly, carefully, but firmly. I think we need to break up. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just stared at me with this empty, hollow look as if someone had blown out the light inside her. And then she said, almost calmly, "I knew you would leave. Everyone does." I told her I cared about her, that I wanted her to get real support, that she deserved someone who could help her heal, not someone she depended on to stay alive. She didn't answer. She just walked away. And now I sit here wondering, Ida, for wanting to break up with someone who depended on me too much. Or am I finally saving both of us? The day after I broke up with Leah felt unreal. Everything was too quiet, too still. Even my phone, which had been vibrating nonstop for months, lay silent on my desk like it was finally resting. But the quiet didn't bring peace. It brought dread, because I was waiting for her to call, to show up, to beg, to cry, to say something that would make me doubt myself all over again. She didn't. Not that day. Not the next one. Not the week after. The absence was eerie. I didn't know what worried me more. That she might be planning something dramatic, or that she had simply vanished from my life, as if I never mattered at all. And then, on the 8th day, the messages started. Not from her. From mutual acquaintances. From people I barely talked to. From numbers I didn't even recognize. The first one said, "Dude, what happened with Leah? You okay?" The second one, "She posted something about you. Might want to look." My stomach dropped. I opened her profile. She had posted a black and white selfie, eyes red, mascara smudged, head buried in her hands. The caption was short, dramatic, and terrifyingly ambiguous. "Some people leave you right when you need them most. Some wounds don't heal." The comments were full of sympathy, assumptions, speculation. "Whoever hurt you is trash. You don't deserve this. Stay strong, Queen. Name and shame him." I felt a wave of nausea. She wasn't saying my name, but she didn't have to. Everyone who followed her knew exactly who she meant. Suddenly I was the villain. The heartless boyfriend who abandoned her during a depressive episode. The emotional abuser. The cold, uncaring betrayer. And I couldn't even defend myself without exposing her deepest struggles. She had begged me to keep private. But things didn't stop at vague posts. 2 days later, she uploaded an Instagram story, a dimly lit video of her walking outside at night, crying. The caption read, "I don't see the point anymore." My heart slammed against my ribs. Was she doing this for attention? Was she genuinely in danger? Was I supposed to intervene? Would contacting her help or rip the wound open again? I didn't sleep at all. Around 3 a.m., my phone buzzed. A message from her number. Not from her. From her mother. "This is Lee's mom. I think you two need to stop talking. Whatever happened between you has affected her deeply." My blood ran cold. I typed back, "I'm not talking to her. I haven't since the breakup. Is she okay?" The typing indicator disappeared again. Then finally, "She will be. Just leave her alone. Leave her alone." That's all I had wanted to do. But suddenly I was the shadow in her story. The nameless antagonist. Everyone pitied her for escaping. For the first time, I realized just how fragile the situation really was. The escalation to weeks passed. Life didn't go back to normal, but it stabilized. Until it didn't. It started with a note. Someone slid it under my door while I was out. Written in Lee's handwriting. "You promised you wouldn't give up on me." I felt my throat close. I checked every corner of the house. I checked the street. I checked the cameras. No one. Then it happened again. And again. Small notes. Short messages. "You said you'd stay. You told me I wasn't like everyone else. You said you cared." Some were written on torn notebook pages. Some on sticky notes. One on the back of a photo of us together. I changed the locks. I installed a security chain. I stopped going anywhere alone, but she wasn't done. One evening, Around dinner, someone knocked softly on my window. I froze. Slow, deliberate tapping. When I finally pulled myself together and ripped the curtain aside, no one was there, but taped to the glass was another note. Why are you pretending you don't see me? My blood went cold. Was she stalking me? Had she been near my house, watching me? I wanted to call the police. I wanted to call her mother. I wanted to call someone. But if I involved authorities, Leah could get worse. She could spin it into betrayal. She could spiral. She could hurt herself. I felt trapped in my own house. Then came the turning point. The confrontation. It was late past midnight when my doorbell rang. I froze. No one visits at that hour. No one sane. The bell rang again and again, longer each time. My heart hammered so loudly I thought the person outside could hear it. Against my better judgment, I approached the door and looked through the peephole. It wasn't Leah. It was her best friend, Harper, the girl who always seemed wary of me, always watching, always analyzing. She looked furious. I cracked the door open an inch. "What are you doing here?" I asked, voice tight. She held up her phone, screen glowing with a text conversation. "Leah is missing." My stomach twisted so violently I nearly doubled over. "What do you mean missing? She left home 3 hours ago. She's not answering. And the last message she sent was about you." "What did it say?" Harper took a shaky breath. She wrote, "He'll understand. He'll find me. He always finds me." I felt the world tilt under my feet. Harper stepped closer, her eyes burning into mine. "She thinks you're some kind of anchor, some savior. She thinks you'll fix things for her. She's obsessed with you, and it's getting dangerous. For her and for you." I couldn't speak. Where would she go? Harper demanded. "Think. You know her better than anyone." I did. Too well. And suddenly memories surfaced. Places Leah considered safe. Places she'd escaped to when she wanted to be alone but not truly alone. There were 3 possibilities. And the first one was the pier. The same pier where she once told me she couldn't survive without me. What I found, the pier was empty. The parking lot, the benches, the shoreline, everything, only the wind, only silence, only the ache in my chest. But just when I started to think I was wrong, that she wasn't there, that I was wasting time, I saw it. A small white piece of paper lodged between 2 wooden planks of the pier railing. I pulled it free with shaking fingers. One line. Her handwriting. "Why didn't you come sooner?" My fingers went numb around the note. "Why didn't you come sooner?" The handwriting was unmistakably Lee-sharp at the edges, slightly tilted. The way she wrote when she was afraid. The pier around me creaked softly as the wind swept across the water. The night felt too still, too aware, as if the world itself was holding its breath. "Leah," I shouted into the darkness. My voice echoed over the waves and died. Nothing. I walked the length of the pier twice, my heartbeat pounding in my ears. Every shadow looked like a person. Every ripple of water felt like a warning. I was about to call the police when I noticed something, a faint trail of footprints on the sand, leading down the shoreline toward the rocks. I followed them. With each step, a part of me prayed she wasn't there. With each step, another part of me feared the opposite even more. When I reached the rocks, the moonlight caught something pale. A hand. My stomach twisted violently. I climbed down carefully, breath shaking, every thought exploding into adrenaline. "Leah," I yelled again, voice cracking. She lifted her head. She wasn't in the water, thank God. She was sitting on the rocks, knees pulled to her chest, arms wrapped tightly around herself. Her face was streaked with tears, hair plastered to her skin from the mist. She looked hollow, like someone who had used up the last of their strength just getting here. When she saw me, a strange smile pulled across her face, soft, fragile, almost relieved. "I knew you'd find me," she whispered. I crouched beside her, careful, as if approaching a wounded animal. "Leah, what are you doing out here?" She shrugged weakly. "Thinking, waiting." "For what?" "For you." My throat tightened. "Leah, you scared everyone. Harper's looking for you. Your mom is terrified." She dropped her gaze. "They don't matter." My breath hitched. "They do matter. And you matter. That's why I'm here." A tear slid down her cheek. "I thought you hated me." "I don't hate you," I said quietly. I couldn't keep carrying everything for both of us. I couldn't be the only thing holding you together." Her lip trembled. "You weren't supposed to leave." I exhaled slowly. Leah staying wasn't helping either of us. She looked away, staring at the black, restless water. "I came here," she said softly, "because this is where I realized I loved you, and where I realized you didn't love me the same way. That's not true. You left, she whispered. I sat down beside her on the rocks, giving her space but refusing to walk away. Leah, listen to me. I cared about you. I still care. But caring isn't the same as being responsible for someone's survival. She didn't answer. You put all your pain on me, I continued gently. Every fear, every insecurity. And I tried, God, I tried to lift it, but I couldn't live like that. It wasn't a relationship anymore. It was dependency. A long silence. The waves crashed. The wind pulled at our clothes. A gull shrieked somewhere far away. Then Leah whispered, I didn't know how else to keep you. Her honesty hit me harder than anything else she had said. I swallowed. You shouldn't have to keep someone who loves you. You shouldn't have to trap them. Her shoulders shook. I'm broken. You're hurting, I corrected, and you need real help, not a boyfriend who's pretending he can fix everything. Finally, her eyes met mine, and for the first time in months I saw acknowledgement, not just desperation. What am I supposed to do? She whispered. Let people help you. Your mom, a therapist, Harper, anyone who loves you without drowning in the process. She closed her eyes, tears slipping out. I didn't touch her, she wasn't stable enough for mixed signals, but I stayed close, grounding us both. You're not alone, I said softly, but we can't be together. Not like this. And someday, she asked, voice trembling. I don't know, I said honestly, but right now we need distance. So you can heal, and so I can breathe again. She inhaled sharply, then exhaled, shaky but controlled, a small, brave surrender. Okay, she whispered, okay, I'll try. Those 3 words felt heavier than anything she'd said before. Not because they were dramatic, but because they were a beginning. A real beginning. We called her mother, who rushed to meet us. Leah didn't speak much, but she didn't resist either. She let herself be hugged, supported, taken home. As she got into the car, she turned back to me. Thank you, she said quietly, for finding me, for telling me the truth, even when it hurt. I